Hey, what's up YouTube? Shane here, also known as the Arbologist, and in this video, I reached out to 4 sharp bettors, not Twitter talkers, I'm talking real edge hunters, and I asked them this simple question. What's your #1 tip for consistently winning at sports betting? Not luck or bullshit hot streaks touted on X, but long-term, repeatable profit. And here's what they said. Our first tip comes from Nick, also known as the Arb Father, a legit pioneer in edge betting who has amassed more than $500,000 in tracked winnings since April of 2023. And I'm not holding back when I say he's one of the hardest grinders in the game and sharper than an obsidian blade. So let's hear it.
Hey guys, how are you? One of my top tips I'd have for you guys is question everything and don't take anything blindly. What I mean by this is there's so many edges that show up on EV screens, but are they truly EV? And who are they EV to is a question that you need to ask yourself, right? I highly recommend clicking into the extended odds on every single bet that you're going to take, whether pregame or live. Yes, we can rely on specific books, sharp books that don't limit anybody for a baseline opinion, like a Pinnacle, right? I'm looking to get discounts or boosted payouts to sites like them. But I like to cross-check and cross-reference other sharp books, right? And that could be a number of books, Bookmaker, Circa, BetOnline, maybe even a FanDuel in certain markets. And I'm looking for market consensus. I want to see these books aligned with Pinnacle as well. What I don't want to see is conflicting opinions.
Let me explain what Nick means here, because this one flies over a lot of heads when you're new. You see that 4% EV number on the screen? It looks juicy. But if it's only because one book is off the market and none of the sharp books are aligned, it may not be the edge you're looking for. The data isn't off in this example. OddsJam software is doing its job perfectly, but it's your job to define the market and decide to place a bet. Penny is showing odds of -133 on the over 158.5 in this Dream vs. Sky game in the WNBA, and since I have my DVIG set to Penny and the rest of the market is off to Penny's estimated value, you're seeing it as plus EV. And the truth is, it might be. But I'm not taking a chance on a market that's not defined to my edge. You can clearly see the rest of the market, including Circa and BetOnline, are more in line to the -108 odds on DraftKings that we're being told is plus EV. Here's another example in which OddsJam is showing us an EV opportunity displayed at over 7%. Again, we DVIG to Penny, but here we see the other sharps, as well as most of the market, aligned at average odds of -126. Yet BetRivers is stale at -106. Basically a low hold to Penny at +104 and a 4% arbitrage to BetOnline at +125. This is defined value and I'm all over it. Nick's tip is money, and his approach is simple. Use EV percentage as a signal, not a decision maker. Your real edge is confirmed by the market, not the odds screen. Think of it like real estate. You don't just buy a house because Zillow says it's $100,000 undervalued. You look at the comps in the neighborhood, and it's the same thing here. Pinnacle, Circa, Bookmaker, BetOnline, they're your comps. Now for more examples, check out my video linked above, where I take an in-depth look at how to define market value when it comes to plus EV. And if you dig this content, do me a solid and hit that like and subscribe button down below, and I'll keep bringing the heat. All right, here's a tip that separates hobbyists from killers in this game, and it comes from my dude, Billy C, a 6-figure breadwinner who many of you will recognize from his endless content and daily live streams on YouTube, where he's helped countless bettors sharpen their approach.
If I had to give one piece of advice to every sports bettor that's watching this, it would be this. Start tracking your bets from day one. Look, I've been doing this for years, and the difference between bettors that make money and those who don't isn't from some secret strategy. It's data. Every single bet that you place is giving you information. What sportsbooks are you crushing? What odds ranges are profitable for you? Which markets are bleeding your bankroll dry? But 95% of bettors are flying blind. They have no clue if they're actually good at betting NBA totals, or if they should abandon betting player props entirely. I don't care if you use Pickett or OddsJam's Bet Tracker, or you track all of this on an Excel spreadsheet. The tool doesn't matter. What matters is that you're collecting the data. Because here's the thing, after 6 months of tracking, you'll discover patterns that will completely change how you bet. You'll find profitable niches and eliminate the bad habits. Your betting history isn't just numbers on a screen. It's your roadmap to long-term profitability. Start tracking today or stay average forever.
First off, Billy C is the shit. Having him as part of my network is massive plus EV. And he's spot on here because look, If you're not tracking your bets, you're not betting. You're just guessing. And this isn't about being organized for the sake of it. It's about understanding your edge, identifying your leaks, and scaling with confidence. I don't care if you're arbing, betting plus EV, or live trading in the market, you can't improve what you don't measure. You wouldn't run a business without knowing your revenue, expenses, or margins, so why are you betting without knowing your ROI, best markets, or worst habits? Start tracking, because that's the moment you go from casual to professional. Now, tip 3 comes from a dude whose live streams are second to none. Cross, another 6-figure breadwinner, has some of the most creative content in the space, and he's as sharp as they come.
My number one tip would be to expect limits and stick with it. You know, the house, the books, they set the rules, so you're playing their game. Your job is just to outwork them and to stick with it, not quit when they limit you. That's what they want.
Let's get this one out of the way right now. If you're winning, whether you're arbing, betting EV, or hammering promos, you're going to get limited, period. Now, limits are not a punishment, they're a receipt. They're the sportsbook telling you, yeah, you got us. So for more information on how to earn past being limited, check out my video linked above. Okay, our last tip comes from a new kid on the block, Tumbo, who's quickly becoming a fixture in the edge betting space. His content is not only profitable, but it's some of the most transparent in the business. And that's an instant follow in my book.
For all my EV bettors out there, this one's for you. Do not chase. And it's more than what you hear about why you shouldn't chase, about how it doesn't work out, this and that. But another perspective I want to bring to you is you have to think of this like an investment. And it can give you better returns than the stock market, but you have to think about it like, you know, there's just going to be a few losing days. You know, it's just part of it, like 1 step back, 2 steps forward. If we look at the stock market, it's not always up, up, up. You know, there's some dips, there's some weeks where it's just bad, but then in the end of the long-term run, you know, 60 to 90 days, it's still going to be an upward trajectory, and that's what you have to think of sports betting as. So, you know, you lose a few days, that's fine. It has to happen because nobody's going to hit 80, 90% hit rates. So you just got to be able to take the hits because you're going to climb much higher, and if you stick to a consistent process, consistent unit sizes, you will be okay.
Listen, you're going to miss bets. Odds are going to move, the EV is going to vanish right as you go to click it, and it's frustrating. I get it. But there's a difference between pros and everyone else. Pros don't chase. We reload and we stay patient. The math doesn't care about your emotions, and plus EV isn't about winning today. It's about winning over time. And every time you chase a stale line or force a bet or go off script, you're trading discipline for dopamine, and that's not what pays. All right, here's a bonus tip from yours truly. And it's something I preached in the past, and it's that this isn't a solo hustle. Every edge you find, every book you beat, every promo you flip, it's highly likely someone else has already figured it out or is figuring it out right now. When I was first learning, I didn't sit in a dark room and crack the code. I watched what other pros were doing, I asked questions, followed patterns, and over time, I built a network of absolute killers like the folks you've seen in this video. And getting connected with the right network will help you skip the learning curve. And don't be fooled by touts or bullshit cappers who aren't showing you how it's done or tracking their bets, because these are instant red flags. If you've made it this far, here's what you've probably figured out by now. Edge betting isn't about placing the right bet. It's about building the right process. Follow the market, track your results, expect limits, stay disciplined, and lean on your network. Most people never get here. They flame out because they chase, they go solo, or they stop when they hit limits. But if you're serious and stay the course, this game will pay you over and over again. Now tap that like button if you got value from this video. Drop a comment with the tip that hit you the hardest. Remember to subscribe for more real strategy with no fluff, and I'll catch you in the next one. And until then, stay in the edge zone.